So today we're doing angle constructions. I have the steps listed out on how to make an angle. We want to use a straight edge to draw a ray with endpoint X in our problem 1 below. So I'm going to draw a ray with endpoint X. Oops, that's off the screen. So you guys should have picked up a compass on your way in, and it looks like about half of you did. Step two wants me to put the pivot point of the compass. This is going to be our golden circle. Wants me to put it on S and then put my pencil into any hole on the arm. So I'm just going to pick one and draw an arc. Wants me to label the points where it crossed. U and T. Okay. Then it wants me to use the same hole. So I'm going to put my golden circle at X this time. And then I'm going to use the same hole on my other line and draw that arc. And it wants me to label this crossing point Y. Stop spinning the compass on your pencil. Okay, so my next step is to put the pivot point on T, so the golden circle on T, and then to find where it crosses U. For me, this is going to be on the inside spinny piece. It might be different depending on where you drew your arc. So then I want to draw an arc right there where it crosses. And I should remember which circle that is. So then I'm going to go back over to my new angle, and I'm going to put my golden piece on Y, and I'm going to find that same hole and draw that arc until it crosses the first arc I drew. It doesn't want me to label this, but I'm going to because typically we label crossing points. I'm going to label it Z. And then just to finish off my angle, I just need to draw a line through X and Z. Actually a ray. So starting at X and going through Z. Like that. So in this picture, TSU is going to be congruent to, I'm going to name the second angle in the same order, YXZ. my next step, I want to use the angles A, G, and B for numbers 2 and 3. 2 wants me to construct C, so that's angle C is congruent to angle A. So I am going to start off by drawing a ray. I'm going to label one of my points C. Then I'm going to go back to my angle A, and I'm going to line up the golden piece on point A, and then I'm going to draw an arc. And then I'm going to draw the same arc from C. And then from one of my crossing points, I'm going to put the golden piece and then find the other crossing point and draw that arc. And then I'm going to copy it over down on the bottom. And then where the 2 points, or the 2 arcs are crossing, I'm going to draw a point, and I'm going to draw my ray through that. Okay, so number 3 wants me to construct angle H so that angle H is congruent to angle G plus angle B. So I'm going to start off by drawing my ray. Then on angle G, I'm going to draw an arc. I'm going to pick an inside circle here. And then I'm going to copy that same arc over to H. Actually, I want to draw this a bit longer. And I drew this one a bit longer because I know I'm adding 2 angles together, so I want to have more to work with. Okay, then on G, I'm going to go from one of my crossing points to the other one and draw that arc and copy it over to H. Then when I go to B, I want to use the same arc size as I used for G. So if I need to, I can go back and remeasure that draw that arc again. And I want to go through both rays. And I'm going to line up my compass and find the point that goes through the other ray. So this next step, since I'm adding two angles together, is a little bit different. Instead of using that line that I drew earlier, I'm going to use the crossing point for my starting point. And then I'm going to draw my arc. And then I want to draw my ray through those 2 points. Okay, so does anyone need more time for constructing the angles? So then on the back side we have angle bisectors. So here's my steps to construct an angle bisector. So I want to put the pivot point on M. So this is, remember, my golden piece. And then we pick any circle. This time it wants me to label my intersections A and B. Okay, so it wants me to put my golden piece on A, and then pick a point that's a little bit more than halfway. So on this one, I'm going to use one of my inside circle choices, and draw a semicircle. Then I want to go to B and pick that same semicircle. And then I want to draw a ray through the crossing of those two semicircles. So where it's crossing the arc, I'm going to label that C. Okay, so what this did was it cut my original angle into two congruent smaller angles. So I'm going to have the measure of angle BMC, so that's the top angle, is congruent to the measure of angle CMA. That's my bottom angle. Okay, so on my next one I want to try the same thing. I'm going to pick a bigger one. Okay. So I'm going to mark up my 2 crossing points. And then I'm going to line up my golden piece on one of them and pick a point that's a little bit more than the center. So it's okay if I just do one of the crossing points. I don't need to do both. I think if you see it on like tests, you'll typically just see the 1x. And then I want to draw the ray through the crossing point and my angle. So something we typically see with angles is we'll see this notation where they have like little tiny arcs inside of them. This means that the 2 angles are congruent. So kind of like how when we were doing our line segments and they had straight up and down lines to show that they were congruent, this one has curvy lines to show that angles are congruent. So my next one wants the angle bisector P, so I'm going to line up my golden piece on P, and I'm going to pick a circle, draw my arc from ray to ray. I'm going to mark my crossing points. And I'm going to put my golden piece back on it, and I'm going to pick a point that's a little over the middle. I'm going to use my orange one for this. And then I'm going to go to my other side of where the arc crosses the angle, and I'm going to draw that crossing point. I mean the arc. And then they should cross that point. Okay, and then I draw my ray through the point P and the crossing point. So here I'm going to use a double arc to show that these 2 angles are congruent to each other, but not these angles that I drew up above. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and work on the last one. So I want to pick a circle inside and mark up where they cross. Then I'm going to line up my golden piece, and I'm going to pick a point a little more than halfway. I'm going to line it up to the other one and pick the same point. And then where they cross at, I'm going to draw through my original point.